So, hi everybody. So, hi everybody. Okay, so I have again no topic, and I don't know, just need to. Okay, I don't know where is he. I have some problems. Sorry. Okay, somehow my Twitch dashboard want to tell me that I'm offline, but I'm damn online. Okay, let's start. I decided to make just something like stones laying on this ground here. As I prepared this mud texture pretty fast, so it's nothing really special and it don't look that, but it will work for our task today. I want to just make stones laying in the dirt, just making some merging, some dirt laying on the rocks and stuff. Yeah, and I started with simply just creating. Sorry, I need some water. Creating some rocks I can just later place on the ground. So therefore, I really first create a rock generator. Yeah, that's my rock generator. I just want to leave it as small as possible to just not let my computer overcalculate everything. So with 16-bit depth is pretty important to keep it precise. So, and I started with my just preview tools. I have this for my height map so that he just passed the height map through and also, generates a normal for me, and just the base material again. As usual, just reduce the metallic so that we don't have a metallic surface. The roughness we picked pretty high. It's because it's stone. Yeah. Then just enable the normal map and the height map so that we get the normal and height map previewed on in our 3D view. So, and then I start simply with some shape for the rock. So I use, no, I don't want to use this one. I tried this morning, but it's not working well, so I start to just, where it is, the cone. So it's more or less a spike. If I preview it, I don't see that good. It's like, yeah, simply a simple spike. So just now I only want to have one stone. So I disable the tiling mode because I don't want to have several stones just tiled over my output. Yeah, then I just create something like a cutout shape, so that I just cut out bricks out of it. Or just first let me just, we first just making it break the shape a bit off, so that we get a better feeling for it. So just transform 2D node to make it smaller, so that it's not just going into the edges when I use the directional warp. So because I just use some noise, but I like to use this how it called, the crystal 2. No, because he gives me just sharp edges, but I don't want to have this high high noise level there. I just keep it as a again transformation to the end. That's not, no matter how I just put it, I just rotate it a bit so that I get some unusual forms, some just breaking up the shape. Maybe 50. It's going somewhere. Okay. So this is just like, okay, we have now just something that looks more like a rock. I just simply want to drag it a bit down so that we have it in the middle of it. Now we break it a bit off, but I'm not happy with, yes, I need to add it to preview so that I see more of this rocky shape. We see that's just a hard spike on it, and I don't want to have this. To solve this problem, I just simply put a gradient map over it. So just need it to be grayscale, but he always creates again back a gradient grayscale conversion node for me, because he always just defaulted a color. I don't want to output color from it. I just simply want to edit it so that I get just, maybe, yeah, that's a bit too strong. Maybe I should do this before I put it into the directional warp, so that I get still the structured shape, but I just not want to have it just clear. I still want to have a bit of a peak, but not a complete peak, just simply a bit of it. Dragging this down, okay, just to get something like a bulky stone. Okay, yeah, maybe that works. Maybe I need to just add a gradient to it to get a sharp snipping on it, so that we have an unusual cut. Because it's now pretty centered, I want to move this center to somewhere else, so that we get a more natural form out of it. Let me just, yeah, we simply use the gradient, just transform 2D node, because I just want to keep it as just ununiform as possible, so just that we have a different center point, just blend it. And now I want to just really do the max lighten, not max min darken value. So we just get this flat cut here. I don't want to have this flat cut this far down, so I need to just level it a bit so that we get rid of that really dark spot down there. Okay, now I have something not really looking like a rock, but anyways, I just now mix two together to break up the shape this traverses here. They're too uniform, you know, that's always on the same height. I don't want to have this. Let's collapse this a bit down. Okay, I have the gradient map and I just duplicate the gradient map. Okay, what is wrong there? Okay, it's with disable. Okay, I have the gradient map, a second gradient map, and I just push that values a bit different. So you will see it, and then now put this in. You see I have a different rock height on it. Maybe I just push this a bit further to no. Maybe I change the color of this guy here. Okay, now we have two traverses, two levels here. Maybe this will look good, but just blend it. Blend these two together, but now we use this alpha here and put this in and just drag this in, and now we have nothing that looks good. Just maybe we should use the usual gradient histogram scan. So the histogram scan is something like a levels node, but it have a different control to it. So I pretty like this. It depends on what I want to have. So levels is just simply I can simply reduce the contrast and have a bit more detailed control. This histogram scan is more of a general thing. So I want to have this, like when I have it to 0.5, I really have the same image I had before, like this is not doing anything, but I want to increase the contrast so that I get more of a rocky shake. Maybe I just only want to cut this one, so I just put this in there, drag this out there, and then put this in. So then we have okay, this is okay. We have a bit too much noise here. Transformation to the node again, just to really get a bigger shape. Yeah, looks kind of a rocky thing. Okay, that traverses I built here, and this one I just put this a bit, just clean this a bit up. Sorry for this messy thing, but to do this without just trying to do not mess up something, that's a tough thing. Okay, we have now just this traversing thing. I wanted to disable it so that we had okay, something okay, that's yeah, okay. I think this will do the same thing for me, just increase it, just break it a bit more off, just 80 maybe. Okay, I won't spend too much time on it because it's, yeah. I will just break this off just even more. Maybe it's too much. I only want to get rid of this regular shapes. So the last thing I do now, or just, yeah, it's more or less okay. I don't want to spend too much time on it. It will do the job, I think. Now I just using gradients that just cut in holes so that we get more of a blocky cut in. So therefore I just use the gradient, and the gradient also use a gradient map, so you will see why. I just back it to grace in the editor, and I have here my white thing. That's the peak, but we have a linear gradient over it. And when I now add here a black spot, so then you see we have a spike here. I simply just add a transformation 2D node and just rotate it a bit and just scale it up, but keeping the whites and blacks. Yeah, I need to keep the whites and blacks. What I do now is just blend these two together so that we get and multiply it so that we get a sharp spot, but not in place. It's just somewhere else. You see it not in the middle of it, and we have a slight gradient here. This is not all. I just showed to you. When I blend it, and I want to how I want to make it in the end. It's like, okay, I put it in there. You see, it's just a spike, but he's just fading out. Just, I don't know where is he. Okay, he's, maybe I need to set it as min so that we get a perfect spike, not a one that goes to the edges, fade out to the edges, so that we get a clear spike, but he's a bit out of the middle line, so I can also just, I want to duplicate it. Maybe later I want to adjust the spike that I have a different spike, so I can go here into my gradient. What? That was the wrong duplication. I want to duplicate this one. Okay. I have now two gradients, and I can now set. Okay, I want to. You see, I can move the spike wherever I want to have it. That's a simple graph. Maybe I will build a tool graph for it. You know what? We're just building a generator for this non-uniform pyramid. So let's go and put these two together. Here we have our gradient, and we have our output, and we just select this area we use for the spike, and say, okay, we want to create a graph from it, and I name this non-uniform pyramid. How I spell this? Okay, we name it pyramids. Damn, I have to look how I have to spell this. Sorry. I even don't know how to spell it in German. Okay, it's okay. That's simple. I don't know. So okay, perfect. We have a non-uniform pyramid. That's a great thing, you know. And we have there our non-uniform pyramid, but we need to add an output node to output our graph. But on the graph, we want to not set this output. We want to have it relative to parent, so that we always get the size of our parent graph where we use this tool. I say tool. It is tool. We set this as an output, and just we always want to luminosity 16-bit, but because this is important, when you just output it out of this graph, you get a grayscale from it. So otherwise you get a color or whatever you want to have it. it's just a safe thing, and we call this height, and we label this as, yeah, okay, that's, it will, if you leave the label empty, then the height will just paste in the label, so you don't need to, and we don't have groups or something else. Maybe we'd call this group up. No, we don't need it, because now we just go here into this and go into the graph editor, and we say we want the position here to be parameterized. Okay, we have something. Is it possible to simply parameterize a gradient? Okay, you know what? No, that's also not possible. Damn, okay. I simply want to set this position down here of this key as a parameter. I need to look if this is possible, but can we just create a gradient from it, set as input parameters? I want to set an import and boolean, no, color, grayscale, okay, that do not work. Input images, we don't have an, oh, okay, okay, I suck on it, that was the wrong idea, so it's not possible at the moment with my knowledge. Maybe there is a way to solve this. Maybe with histogram shift or something, histogram range, I don't know. I need to check this out. I do not tried this before, but anyways, we have our non-uniform parameter graph, and we put this, oh, that was the wrong graph, that's my dirt texture graph. So what we want to get back into our rock generator, right? Okay. Now we have our non-uniform parameter. You see that we do not just we wasn't able to just set the parameters, but we have now a special graph for it, and we can put it in, and we have the same result. Let me just you preview your output thing down here. If you just put it down there, she asked for it, but this is like a complete material. Here have just all maps, and I can just drag and drop it with the right click down into my preview view, and then I get my nice pyramid down here. But we don't want to have this pyramid. We want to simply subtract it from the rock. Now you see, okay, we have now a small rock that's the rest of our rock, but we can just reduce the intensity, and the idea is I subtract this black and white image from this one, and what I get is like he just cut a spike in it. You slowly see it here. It's getting a spike down here. See, I get a cut, but I don't want to have this straight cut here. I just want to have, I use this grayscale, this spike, and populate it over a tile generator. Just put the numbers, it reduces it pretty much by 3. I don't want to have that much spikes on it, but I put it in and just use my texture, my input image. So here you just set it to input image. And when you now put it in, it's like, okay, I need to have an opacity. Now it cuts like pretty deep things here, massive things. But I don't just, yeah, it looks a bit geometric, or how it called in English, but anyways. So is there a function that I hear if someone wrote something in the chat? Because that would be great. There's setting. Okay. Anyways, that's I'm new on Twitch, I don't know how it works. But now continue with my, so you see here, down here, that's like, I have a lot of cuts on it, and you see my generator is now 512 by 512 because I set it to output size to parent. I can just change this value so that he's just taking a lower resolution than the parent. Maybe I get half of the parent because I populated on a tile generator. But the tile generator, again, do not use relative to input, relative to parent. So then he just takes the pixel size of the graph. So I want to have the full size, so I need to use relative to parent, not to input. Okay, so now bring some randomization in it. We have here down free rotation and the free random rotation. So now you see here they add together. I don't want to add them. I want to just max them out so that we get some smooth edges here, some randomized edges. Here we have the luminosity and contrast. I just make a random luminosity so that we get deeper and not that deep cuts. Yeah, scale variation, and we increase the scale to 5. Oh, that's pretty much too much. Okay, just increase this. Okay, so I got a rock result, but you see the lines are pretty straight. I want to okay, the scale variation, give them more scale variation. Maybe the luminosity variation is okay. It's the overall size is too big, so I want to. So yes, some kind of this is just playing around with these values. Okay, that's when it's 100% on it. Okay. Anyways, I want to just set a directional warp, and I just to destroy this shape a bit, and I use just maybe it is enough if I use the same output here and just increase it by 50. Okay, that's too. Okay, let's put a transform to denote in between so that we get something like against this shape we already have. Yeah, not perfect. Anyways, it's a stone with a bit of structure. Let's keep that. Maybe just change the direction of it. So yeah, we have that looks kind of more like multiple rocks and or a mountain or something. That's some kind of cool. Maybe I just reduce this intensity to keep it. Yeah, okay, we keep it like that. It's just yeah. Okay. Yeah, a mountain, but let's put some snow peaks on it and just doing gym. Yeah, let's. Damn, I don't just got the. I need to just. Is there an angle? Okay, I need to just look if there's something like an angle effect or something. That I see the angles. Yeah, I skip this. I don't want to have a snowy mountain, just a simple rock. That I think this one will do my job. Just push it a bit back, and we have some cuts on it. These, okay, this is kind of cool, but I don't want to have this small. I think this. Where does this come from? Small stitches. You know, these ones. I don't know if you see it, but I have a lot of small things in there I don't want to see. Okay, seems like it comes from this map. I will break it off, just make a blend node and blend it with some straight noise. I don't want to have too much noise in it. I simply want to have clear shapes. So there's no, okay, that looks just a bit too broken. Maybe this. Okay, this one, maybe this looks too broken. Okay, this one is also, yeah, okay. So, okay, I will just now go just making some multiply over it, and just so that I get some kind of okay, now it looks not as expected. I tried to remove these edges, but I destroyed it even more. So we keep it, and we have, maybe I can just go with the levels node and just cut a bit. What? Okay, I know it's this one. I go. Okay, now I just only preview the one, and this is the other one. Okay, the other one looks quite a lot better. Maybe I just keep this at white. Oh no, okay. This is cool. I want to leave this. Or it is. It's just playing around. I'm not that happy with the result at the moment. I just try to get somewhere. Yeah, I think this is fast and quick result. Pushing this up a bit more, and yeah. You just increase the size that we get more, not that noisy cuts anymore. Instead we get clear and clean stones. Okay. Okay, I just set this like this, and then yeah. Okay, just create an output node. We want to output this as our first graph, as our first height. Now we always get this rock here. That will be just is too similar if every rock looks the same, no matter if you rotate it or not. Or just maybe it's enough to just working with the random seed. Yeah, okay, do something. Okay, I keep this with the random seed. I think I get enough variation of it. Yeah. Okay, but the first iteration looks more the best, but we keep it and we are happy with it because we're just wasting time if we just spend too much time on this. Because I want to focus on something else on this. Do I prepare the graph? No, I don't prepare the graph. So, but I just want to go with this. It's a pretty simple graph. So I saw graphs online that's just that complicated. Even to see the whole graph, you have to zoom in, zoom out, that you do not see the resolution or the time frames. I don't know if you just, okay, I display everything, and yeah. I could small it down so that you can, okay, you cannot see it because my internet connection is that horrible bad. I'm sorry for that, because I just want to save some money and just don't get a good internet connection, because I don't thought that I will stream someday. Yeah, I think now you can see more or less everything. Yeah, it's not readable, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's like we made this with the tile generator, or started off with this beautiful cone. The cone is just a spike, as I said. Then we offset it to just compensate the directional warp in the end. You see here, just when I move it, we get cut it out. We want to have it more or less in the middle, because we did then use this stone later on, and we want to have it centered, that we can rotate it, can rotate it better. Okay, so this is our stone. We don't colorize it yet or something else. I try to see that the height and normal information's alright, and I can see that through. Okay, now we go into the substance. Here's my live session imprint thing, because I want to imprint the assets into the rocky ground, and I just use my dirt ground, and just again, maybe I need to have a script or something to preview my tools even faster, but I don't have it yet. And I want to add the base material, so that I later, what? That was the wrong one. The base material that I see, again, just we don't have a metallic, we have a high roughness value, because maybe later on I will set these values if we have time. I can create a graph for it. I basically generate everything out of my height maps, so that I really get I first have to look at the height map, and therefore the normals look right and have a good output. But we want to blend normals, if there is a blend normal node. Yep, normal blend. And I want to just have, this is my normal from the background, and I just put it into the normal map. I just want to show to you. So we have the normal, and we have the normal map here, and that's for my height map preview. And yeah, use mask. Okay, I don't have a mask yet. I will generate it later, but now we have this nice beautiful thing, and I use my rock generator first to preview it. Okay, maybe we just generate a mask out of it. Let me go into the rock generator and duplicate my output. So, but this is not our height one, this is our mask. Maybe we use the mask with the same splatter, and then we have it to use something. Okay, this is enough to use luminosity 8-bit, because when you use 8-bit output, then he calculates it much faster. Now he use it from this at 16-bit and he crunch it down. But maybe if you do something with it and you have an 8-bit luminosity, he calculates it much faster, because he have just simply, you don't need that much calculation power to optimize your graphs. Maybe if you want to use them on real time, I don't recommend to use it on real time, because I'm not sure what the graphs are really do. But if I see how complicated they are, I don't know, if you have, for example, here you want to have this controllable, thing controllable. Let me just preview it first. And you want to have this mask controllable, and you want to have it in the engine, and you want to just set the graph, set the contrast and the position to adjust it later on for whatever reason, I don't know. But if you use that, he then have to calculate the graph afterwards complete. So all this like 0.18 milliseconds. Okay, I have a slow graphics card, but even if you have a high power PC, it's not good to use it, because when you have players that use these things, use your game, and you have such complicated graphs or something that really look awesome and the result is stunning, and you have a huge effect of blending, whatever, that's going to be a huge performance cost, so I don't recommend to use something like this. But still, to optimize it, just go with 8-bit. If you can use it, I don't know if there is a 1-bit thing, so that I use only black or white because it's a mask. But here I simply just drag a histogram scan again to set it up. But I set the position pretty high because I only want to see that last bit. Maybe I want to have some smooth edges to make a softer transition between the rock and something else. Yeah, I don't know yet how exactly I will put this together with this with this imprint stuff, but maybe this mask will do some stuff that will help me. Okay, back into my substance tool. I just previewed again the wrong mask, but yeah, we now just go with this. We're pretty happy because we have now our rock generator. He don't put it into the mask, because now I use the mask, for example, I can put it in, and now we have this nice bumpy rock just previewed on it. Okay, we just simply need to combine the height maps. So maybe we just go with simply first combining the height map and give a shit on the normal map, but so that we just do not need this normal map blend. It was only a task to just preview these two things. We delete it, and we simply go with our height map thing here. Just put that, I'll put that, and I want to just simply leave it at that. Okay, we have now a preview of our rock, and we have the thing. We can just put it in the height map, and we will get just also a noisy ground with some pulse. And now I want to place these rocks in it, but first I need to have these rocks populated so that we have a non-generic just splatted over it. I didn't use the splat map that much here. You can, I don't know what it is. It is maybe a more random splatter. I like the circular splatter, but I didn't use it now. Maybe for making grass patches later on. But first we want to put the stones into our ground. So I use the rock generator, the tile generator. Just again put the height map into the image input. Just selecting my image input, and yeah, let me preview it. Oh, that's okay. The height map in our material editor is just crazy. So oh yeah, we have a lot of the same stones, and we just reduce the intensity because they're just much too bumpy, because the size is pretty low. Okay, now we just random. Okay, the number, yeah, it's okay. We want to scale variation, have some really huge rocks, and some offset. Okay, I know. I don't tile this one, so my rock generator. So he just give it to its child graph. So this is the parent of this one, and this one just have tiling mode relative to input. So we put this in, and he's just, but we give a fuck. We want to have tiling, complete tiling. We don't want to have it relative to input because this is 512, a really low resolution, because our graph is not much higher because my graphics card is pretty slow. I left it at 124, but we set relative to parent, so we have the resolution of our total graph, and we go and just setting some random offset, okay, the global offset, whatever, luminosity, but smaller, higher stones, let they have a difference in height, rotation, and we use a fixed rotation so that you see this one down here, when I just increase this, he just flipped and he get a mirrored version of it. There you get more variancy of, is it right? But anyways, you get more variance in the stones because you flip them and mirror them and rotate them and whatever. You get some other results, and we want to have a random position. So then we still add this together. I don't want to have it. I just want to set it as max, and you see that they now mix together. I just still have I still want to set the luminosity value. I think maybe I should go with an FX map, but this is something for another stream, the FX map thing. But that looks like shells, so maybe they're too big. I just reduce the scale so that we get simply just a few stones. Okay, now what I do now is I want to first get the height informations from this one, but I don't want to have these details in it, so I go and just blur it. Not blur. So I don't use the regular blur, so I use it for accident because I just go through it. Because I showed you the regular blur, you don't see it here that good, but I just put this in. Okay, just go with the mask. If I go to the intensity, increase the do I change the just making, I need to preview it good. So we go with a simple shape, a square, or just something was not blurred, so that you see the exact. Okay, there's a scale value. I never noticed that. Okay, I go here into the blur, and now you see that he's just blurring along the edges, and he gets some winkles here. I don't want to have this winkles, and if you have used the high quality, the blur HQ, I use and then you put it in. You see you have nice, smooth, rounded edges, and that's the one I want to go with. It's not important that I just want to have a smooth blur, because sometimes if you have a high level, a good level blur thing, and you use the normal blur, you get some strange stares in the height map, or strange cuts you never expect, because the height map looks blurred, but it isn't somehow. So that's strange, but yeah, let's go for it and just blend, and I want to add this to it. Okay, I just want to add this. Therefore I just reduce the overall level of it so that I don't have this high value stones, so that I get this stones. So small stones that not that height. Maybe increase the normal intensity so that we see it even see it better. Okay, I get some different height to it. That's important because now I go and maybe I need to just set a level node back here so that we get even just that we get a from not from oh yeah, okay, I think the level is pretty much okay because we have a really small range. And there you see serial default. I want to just preview it even more. The scale value, oh, that's pretty low. Okay, maybe I need to increase it. Damn. So I want to have a bit of this ground. And you see in relation to my bigger shapes here and my bigger things, maybe I just the grayscale high quality just reduce a bit of reduce too much of the height information. And you see now we populate the stones over the whole thing. I need to just reduce the levels of the stones a bit more. Okay, we have it. Now I go here and you see this is one level, but I want to have a histogram scan again to just mask these stones out. We'll later see what I want to do with it. So I really increase, so I have a mask where the stones are, and I go now and just blur it with a high quality blur. Wait, there it is. So, and then we have our stones. We will just later subtract it. We will later subtract this value again, so that we get a better. So we just we go first with this. I just leaving it back. So I have now here. I add here the height to it of this bottom layer thing. And now I just blend it again, and I just want to subtract this again. Subtract, first edit, then subtract it, and now you see we have exactly the same image of this one. But what we do now is just we use our mask we already have here. Maybe it's too sharp. I just reduce it a bit, and then we put it into the mask. This was the wrong thing. We just need to invert the grayscale so that we get, in the end, we just cut it out and we have the stones just on the height we want to have it. So this is our stones on the height of the underlaying map. So we keep this. First we move this up. So this is our first height. So this is the stone. These are the stones, just laying on the height map. So now we change it a bit. Let's start with just making some push in for the later merge. Let's just make, I don't know, that was too early. We want to have a blend here. Because now I want to subtract my blurred mask from the base image, from my ground here. What was this? This was the inverted mask. We can put this on. This was a rock. Okay, we have a levels node. Okay, we was here. Just I want to subtract it from this because I want to bump it in. First, preview it on this. Okay, now you see we bump it in on the position where the stones are. That's too much. We want to have a bit less, and it's just the blur is too strong. We only want to have really just a smooth blur, and the opacity, just reduce it even more. Okay, we now have something that's like the rocks. You see there, the rocks are placed here. And now I just blend these two together with this one, and set this to max. Because I set this now to max because we have the we bumped it in, bumped now in the surface, the ground surface, and we want to have the stones just put it in on this position. Now we have it bumped in, you see, on this position, and still laying over it. So maybe that's a bit too strong here, but yeah, we have some stones laying. Okay. Maybe we can reduce the height of it. Okay, we still keep it like this, but we just reduce the levels even more. Maybe we don't need to max this, we don't need this area here, because, no, I need to have the levels later. Maybe I bump it too much in. Maybe that's the problem. I really subtracted pretty harsh, you see. I can, yeah, okay. Maybe I go with the mask that gives this some kind of randomness where it's bumped in and where not. You can use a noisy thing, and it's kind of an interesting effect, but that's not what I was looking for. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Okay, here, so just put it in. No, that's also not a good mask. I don't want to have too much noise in it, but still want to have some. Yeah, okay. Just going with this. And now I have some bumps here, and some are not. Okay. Now I want to reduce this and mask this a bit out because I want to have more stones. And more different stones. Let's go and random mask some out. You see that's quite a cool thing. You can just mask some out and some in, and he recalculates the whole graph. I love that tool. So you can easily populate things and just adjust things. Okay. I think the blur is. What is this? I just reduced the blur to 0 and he cuts somehow in this. I think because he already knows why is this cut so big? Okay, now it's better. Increasing the contrast and just playing around with this value. Just now as the cut is slower, and I can just redo the smooth thing. Yeah, so we have our bumped in stones. Maybe I should mix two blurs so that I get some bigger and some slower, less intense, just merging things. And I mix this simply together with the map I have here already. Just get it and the blend. I want to mix them together. We get an and that's a problem because on the black spots we don't see it. So now we have some less blur and more intense blur. Yeah. Okay, this is the last blur, and where we have some more intense blur. And the last blur is pretty black. Okay. We have some stones printed in the ground. Now I want to have now they are pretty small because I want to add a bit more small stones, but simply populate them in the lower passes. I will show you what I mean. Let's duplicate this. And I want to have more stones, just massively more stones. And I don't want to mask some out. So if I put this into my graphs, we have a lot of stones. No, not that much, but yeah, anyways, a lot of stones. And it's not enough. I want to have more stones. More stones. Okay, 40, 40. Oh, maybe the scale. Okay, we scale them by. Oh, that is too much. Okay, and now we have a lot of stones, a lot of rocks, printed in, but we don't want to have that. Why did I print it in now? Anyways, we put these two together, and the stones, we use this really high populated stones, and brush them into an alpha. We use our height map, and we calculate an ambient occlusion from it. Okay, just the ambient occlusion. Just put it in, and you see we have some dark spots. Maybe just put in a bit more contrast. And yeah, okay. We think of a simple. In games, you know, the height maps. I don't know if I just a height map blending of terrain. So now we blend our map we have here into the dark spots on this area, and that we just invert grayscale. So now we have more the white part. And now we level it a bit up so that we want to have bright spots and black spots. No, we just go with we first blend these two together, this one and this one, and what we do is we set this to minimum. So then you see we only have just the rocks where they're supposed to be. Where we think the rocks are. Now we put the levels, and we don't want to see the blacks, we only want to see the white stones. We have still some cuts here. Maybe we need to level this. Okay, right. That's something that always also in games happen. and you have to adjust these two values because we create a mask out of it. We only want to have bright spots. Damn, that's done. Wait, we use a different mask. We make a blend with this one, and we add this one to it. We added where's add, and we just lower the levels here. Oh, that was the wrong one. We lower the high level so that we don't. So then we see that we have now these two together, and now let's blend this as this one. Okay. No, that was bullshit. Okay, I think we will go with this. It is good enough. Maybe we go with the histogram scan. It's more arty to use it. Okay, and the contrast. Okay, now we have this one here, and we use this mask we have here to let me just collapse it a bit so that we to blend these things here, these rocks, these small rocks, into this map. Blend. This is our background. This is our foreground. I used to nowadays that just really bumped it out. Use add, and we really reduce this one. Now you see we overpopulate the whole thing. And yeah, just maybe we should. Okay, these stones are this big. These stones are just slightly smaller, but maybe 100. Maybe we want to have really small stones here. Okay, when we have this mask, it's just really. And we put this as our mask here. Now you see we have only in the lower spots. Maybe we just need to adjust these random values a bit more. Maybe we yeah, okay. This is okay, that's a bit too uniform, really. I need to just increase it just by 200, and then set the scale to 5. Okay, that's too crazy. Okay, we go here. We have this our AO map here, and you see that spots are too blurred, and we blend some noise into it. We simply multiply it. No, we don't want to multiply, we want to add it. Maybe add sub. Nope, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, we go with this mask. Damn. So okay, maybe we need a bit more noise. Okay, that was definitely not what I was looking for. Maybe just it was totally not what I was looking for. Um, yeah, now we have some small stones, some bigger stones. They're just not related to each other. Just okay. I will now put a bit more stones, a bit more different stones, because I want to have a different shape. Okay, just as I said, we go with the random seed. You see the random seed again, and we simply go and blend the two nodes together as equal as the others do by max them out. Okay, they're just not. I want to have them more. Okay. Okay, now this levels node, just put it pretty much down, but I want to have different heights of the stone, so I put this in, put this there, and then go this way. So you see, now I have some pretty high stones and some the lowest stones. See this one, they put it in there, but I just duplicate this levels node, put this in, put this in, and what the heck? Okay. So now, but I want to have some higher stones and some lower stones. Okay, I need to have the full thing on this. So maybe I just duplicate this blend and just jump over the levels node. It's pretty dirty, but it will do the job for me. I see. So we have some smaller stones, some bigger stones, and yeah. They look really too equal. I need to check how it looks when I just increase the tiling. You see, that looks. They just placed too uniform. I want to have some more populated zones, some less populated zones. That's something that's really not what I was looking for. Maybe I need to play around with these values until I get some more population. Or I simply just go with the mask and just having just this one and use this as my population mask for this. So just set this and we say to multiply. We set a histogram scan to really get again the contrast. Okay, so now you see I have some that now I have some more populated zones. I will do the same for this one, but to not always seeing on the same population, maybe that will work. I don't know. So do we have? Okay, now that's not what I wanted. So and now you see the tiling. I want to go this way. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Now we see the tiling. Okay, so when I go this way, you don't recognize the tiling that much. I didn't reduce the scale, so that you don't, because the tiling is now by 2, and you always need to reduce the scale then. Maybe they some connected somehow later, because it's always just, if you want to check it on with the higher tiling, to check the tiling if you see the repetition too much, and you see the repetition pretty much, but yeah, to check out the repetition if it's working or not for you, and then you see that it's definitely not working. And so yeah, I lost sorry, I lost the point what I wanted to say. But to set the scaling then, because when I now just reduce the tiling again to 1, you see that's pretty flat surface. I need to increase it to 2 so that I again see the stones. That's really sucks. But again, just okay, we have now some kind of just rocks printed into the sand. But what I wanted to do now is to bring some direction in it, so that I have some sand laying on the stones. So you see the graph gets really complicated. I really need to separate some things. So I really want to need this. Okay, this section here, I think, more or less, it's really complicated. Oh, that's okay. Okay, I can go with this. This is my base thing, and there I merge the imprint in it. So this is for my imprint here. I think I can go with a not that complicated version. I will really go with this and just delete the rest out. It was just fun to jump around with these values to really get a different imprint. But now I get some direction in it, and this is what I do is as a vector warp. A vector warp just warps the map like I don't know if you know it. It's just a flow map. So he just warps the image in 2 directions, in the X and the Y, and so he uses this at a negative and positive way, and so on. What I do is I simply want to have, I just try around and just make a normal map out of it. So out of this noise I make a normal map to get some kind of a direction. So you see, okay, I just increase it to 50. You see the red and it's going to black, and so the red is moving over it in the y-axis, and the green in the y and red in the x-axis. So I put this in, and I just put this one in. I see it's looking pretty crazy. You see, now I just reduce it to 0, and you see how it flows. This I use to really get a bit of an offset, so that I use it as 2 intensities. So this is my minus value, 0.5, and I duplicate it, and this is my additive value. I set it to minus, or just maybe I set it to minus. So I have this map and this map. So this map goes into another direction than this, and just go to OpenGL. Okay, they do some 2 different things. And what I do now is to have, this is subtract at the moment, and what I want to do is to have an additive and a subtractive value. This is my subtractive, this is my additive value. What I do now is just to have a levels node, and just set it all to 0.5 here, all up, so that I get a neutral way, a neutral level. And then I just blend these 2 together and have this as my subtraction. Now you see it's totally black because I just subtract too much. I just added this, and I see I have some white spots and some black spots, so I have a slope there where the stone lays. And when I put this down, it looks kind of not as expected, but because it's subtraction, I want to have add and sub. So I subtract it and add it. I increase the value. Yeah, see, it's so the amount that I mapped my first thing here, this one, I add this linear add, and it's too heavy. But as I increase it to 0, there's nothing visible. Okay. Anyways, we go with this, and maybe I need to increase the add sub thing. You see, I have, well, that looks pretty bumpy everywhere. Damn. Okay. You see how that works. So I go with DirectX so that we have the same direction. Oh no. Now you see it. I have the wrong calculation. You see that maybe the normal map is too intense. So, but you see now we have